If you watch Major League Baseball, especially the American League over the past couple of years, you know that Francisco Lindor is an elite new young player. And he's like, I don't know. I mean, ever since he's got to the MLB, he's really kind of created waves. Everyone knew who he was. Everyone was aware of his presence. We now know that he's elite. He's gotten to the level of being elite, but the real question is, can he make another jump? Can he make that jump into being an MVP caliber player? How you guys doing? It is June 12th, 2020 here in this quarantine. I'm James Sims, and then for this episode of The Elite, I was really going to try to get into Francisco Lindor, the 26-year-old shortstop from Puerto Rico who has been playing with the Indians ever since his debut. Just to give you a little bit of background, he was drafted by the Indians, I want to say 8th overall in the 2011 MLB draft. Because he moved to Florida. I mean, he was a big recruit, especially for Cleveland at the time. He was probably one of their he was definitely their prized recruit for a bit. Took him a second to get to the league. He eventually made his debut in 2015, and kind of really starting there. He started 2015, his age 21 season. He only played 99 games. He finished with 122 hits in those 99 games. Very impressive. With 12 home runs, 51 RBIs, he was batting 313, and he finished second in the Rookie of the Year race in 2015, finishing second to Carlos Correa of the Houston Astros. But that's what he was doing. In his age 22 season, he clinched his first All-Star game after playing his first full season of 158 games. He finished with 182 hits in 158 games, with 15 home runs, 78 RBIs, and the like. Finished with a 301 batting average, 358 OBP. He finished with a Gold Glove, and he finished ninth in MVP voting. That's what he was doing in his age 22 season. He was making his mark on the league. His third year might probably go down as his best year thus far up to date. In 2017, his age 23 season, he led the league in plate appearances and at bats. He finished the league with 178 hits in 159 games, 33 home runs, 89 RBIs, finished with a 273 batting average. But he finished making he made his second All-Star game. He won his first Gold Glove, or he won his first Silver Slugger. He won his first Gold Glove the year prior. But at this point, by age 23, he was a player who already had 2 All-Star games, a Gold Glove, and a Silver Slugger under his belt for playing on the Cleveland Indians. And I mean, in those times, in his second year was the year that the Indians lost in the World Series to the Cubs. But at that year, Terry Francona won Manager of the Year, and then the year I just mentioned, the Indians would finish first in the AL Central and lose to the Yankees in the ALDS in 5. So, and Corey Kluber won the Cy Young Award. So, I mean, Francisco Lindor was playing on a really, really good baseball team. And that really kind of leads into his fourth season. His age 24 season, 2018, he led the league in plate appearances, at-bats, and he led the AL in runs with 129 runs. He finished the season with 183 hits in 158 games, with 38 home runs, 92 RBIs. And he finished with a 277 batting average, 352 OBP. He was able to clinch his second All-Star. He finished sixth in MVP voting, and he won his second Silver Slugger that year. And this was all at age 24. And then age 25, this past year he played 143 games, finished with 170 hits in those games, more hits than more hits than games. And of course, he came in kind of late because he was coming off of an injury, but he was still able to hit 32 home runs, 74 RBIs with a 284 batting average. Even though he missed 20 games, he still finished with he made the All-Star game. He was 15th in MVP voting, and he was able to win his second Gold Glove here for the Indians. And last year, the Indians would finish second in the AL Central and miss the playoffs completely. So, if you're aware of how good Francisco Lindor, especially because you know that he's a switch hitter, he makes a lot of contact. He's mainly electricity. Whenever he hits it, something crazy happens. But if you actually consider how intelligent of a young player he is, he's way ahead of the curve. He's already has 2 Gold Gloves, and he's already 26, 2 Silver Sluggers. He hits a lot. He gets a lot of hits. He gets significantly more hits than games he plays, which is one of the, I don't know. It's one of the things that calculates to determine whether someone's like particularly really good. He's basically been in the limelight for the Cleveland Indians the past 4 years because, yeah, as I said earlier, he made his first All-Star game at 22. But the real problem is once he hit his third year, he basically he plateaued. And it's not a bad thing, of course, to plateau at 30 home runs and 90 RBIs. A player of Francisco Lindor's caliber, many were expecting him to probably be better or an MVP caliber player by now. But I mean, he still has time. He's only 26 years old. If he were to only win one MVP in his career, I mean, that's still, only one player in the American League wins the MVP every year. Hopefully Francisco Lindor becomes one of those players that eventually wins. I have no idea of what his contract situation is looking like. I think he's looking to leave Cleveland very soon, but don't take my word for it. He's a player that I could really see going anywhere and making the team a lot better. I don't necessarily see him as the best player in a championship team, but this dude can definitely hold his own at shortstop, and if he's the second best player in a championship team, that's a very, very good team. No, I really like what he is. I really like the kind of player he is. Like, I'm not the type of person that's gonna shame someone if they're not like making the jump to Mike Trout numbers. I'm gonna take him for what he is. I think he's an amazing baseball player. If you're an Indians fan, you like having him on your team, but I think you're a little bit impatient as to when he's gonna make that jump. Because my whole dilemma about picking Francisco Lindor is that everyone knows that he's an elite shortstop, but people have been waiting for him to make at least a Mookie Betts jump, and he very well could. I mean, he's only 26. A lot of people do tend to get pretty impatient when it comes to young stars, considering I don't think he's at his prime yet, and he still plays a lot of good baseball. I don't necessarily watch the Cleveland Indians as much because, I watch the Braves in the NL East, and if they play every day, I don't have that much time to watch the Indians. No, but when they do play in the playoffs, I like watching Francisco Lindor. And now that Kluber's gone, Francisco Lindor is it looks like he might be the face of the Indians for the next couple of years. So we'll see if he likes it in Cleveland, if he decides to stay, because if he decides he doesn't want to, I'll completely understand. But if you're a baseball fan, I definitely know, even if you like or hate, you definitely respect Francisco Lindor as a baseball player. Like as a baseball player himself, he's a good baseball player, possibly on track for the Hall. But this might be a Hall of Fame career who's prime of a player whose prime hasn't necessarily come yet, or we might be at the end of it. We have no idea. It's always good to throw out hypotheticals, but as of right now, I am taking Francisco Lindor. I'm telling you right now, I think he's a very elite baseball player, and if you get a chance, check him out. Thanks for listening to all 8 minutes of this. I don't know, I just wanted to give a little shout out to my boy. If you ever get a chance, look up Francisco Lindor. He's number 12, and he plays shortstop for the Cleveland Indians. And with that, I'm going to sign off. Wish you all well, and wish you guys to be safe in this quarantine. And with that, I'm going to say peace.